Steel Toe Morning Show.
Everybody, hi, good evening, welcome to the Steel Toe Evening Show all by myself. What do you do? One of those schedule deals. It's just, I don't know what else to tell you guys. When you have kids, just shit happens, and when it's kind of a back to the wall, no backup plan kind of deal. One of us has to be a parent. One of us has to do a show. So I'm doing a show. April is being a parent. That's the deal. So you've got me tonight. Now, here's what we're going to do. That comes with some perks. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about this bloodbath business. Oh my God, did you hear about the bloodbath? This is incorrigible. This is terrible. Apparently, Donald Trump is saying that the American people are all going to murder each other if he doesn't become president. I'm just kidding. He made a euphemism that a lot of people use, like, oh man, if the Vikings, if the Vikings can't pull off, if this roster can't pull off a playoff appearance, it's gonna be a bloodbath next year. I mean, like, everybody's going to be gone. It's going to be finished. Trump said if he didn't win the election, it was going to be a bloodbath for the country. And I think the thing I hate most about the way our media operates is like the grossness. If they were just stupid, that would be kind of fine. You know, like if they were just dumb. And then, he meant bloodbath. Like, if they were Dax Shepard in Idiocracy, that would be fine. But I give them a little more respect than that. I don't think they're that stupid. It's the fact that they know what the fuck he meant, and they still go with, oh, my God, Trump's saying he's going to, like, they're taking it like Trump's going to literally murder people if he doesn't become president. And then they expect people to believe that, and here's the bitch of it. People will believe it. There are some people who will now say, oh, did you hear that Donald Trump is threatening to kill Americans if he doesn't win the There are stupid people out there who will believe that. And there's nothing you can do. That's the weirdest part. There's nothing you can do. They're stupid. They believe everything they hear. And they're called Democrats and Republican. Like, both of these people, my frustration with them is there's absolutely zero intelligence. If it works for what they need, they will buy it. There is no fucking intellectual curiosity in this country anywhere. Nobody. It's just, does that make my side look good? I mean, fuck intellectual consistency and honesty. Fuck making good arguments. It's just, does this work for the people I like? And by the way, it doesn't benefit you at all. It's just there's a bunch of old men on the TV that say bullshit that you've decided you like more than the other guys who sit on the TV and say bullshit. It's so fucking stupid. But that's where we are. It's not It's not going to change. I used to think, like, when I was on radio, I was like, yeah, I can reach people and change them and blah, blah, blah. Now, we can just basically all commiserate that it's all falling off a cliff, and here we are together. We're the smart ones who are snarky while it's falling off a cliff, huh? At any rate, welcome. Good evening. We're going to have a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed this morning, man. I had a lot of fun hanging out with the beautiful Keanu C. Thompson. And she made $10 more than Gino did on Friday. Gino made $300 on Friday. She made $310 over the goal. And Keanu's goal was higher than Gino's. Gino's was like $150. Hers was $300. So Keanu made a fortune for this program today. So much so that I'm not really sure I need to be here tonight. You know, April and I had the kid scheduling issue. And April's like, one of us has to do the show. And obviously that's me. I mean, not obviously as in she couldn't, but you know what I mean. And one of us has to watch the kids. She's like, that's me. Or as the internet would say, she's doing hot rails in the bathroom and I can't get her out. I don't know what rumor of ours is the favorite. I know the swingers one is fucking hilarious. I love that one. The April is sneaking off during the show to do cocaine because she's developed a drug problem. God damn, that's near the top of the list for me. Because it coincided with a terrible flu sinus infection combination. So, like, the timing was right to start that. But it's also just like the fervor. Like, once they get their new idea, it is fun to watch the people who don't like. I don't even say haters. I don't think they hate the show. I think they love it. But they don't think it's cool to admit that it's good. And so they have to vehemently hate it. Once they grab onto it, they have convinced themselves it's real, so they dive in and dig in 115% and obsessively look into every motion and tick and move. And then they go, we're owning them. You're sitting there with a fucking magnifying glass watching a podcast like this while we have fun and laugh, and somehow you're winning? Fascinating. No. You're right. Shh. Nobody tell them. Nobody tell them. Skills Carmide says, hey, Aaron, where's April? All alone today? Not all alone, but solo on the air, if that makes sense. Zen Rhino says she's not in the bathroom doing cocaine. We all know she's doing the Piper Perry surrounded situation. Oh, see now Zen Rhino coming up with a new one. Every time she's not on the show, she's being gang railed by black guys. I mean, is every theory not as valid as the next? Right? Roots Calhoun says, imagine how shitty the cocaine is in Minnesota. I can't speak to it. I don't know. I don't know what the cocaine situation is in Minnesota. I'll tell you this. I wouldn't know good cocaine from bad cocaine. You could tell me, Aaron, this is really good cocaine. And then I would do it. I go, wow, that's amazing. And then you go to this one and go, that's really shitty cocaine. I go, oh, it's fucking bunk. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, Jesus Christ. And it could be the complete opposite. Doesn't matter. Taste Fairy says, yeah, but the meth is pretty good. And that's true. I mean, you can say what you want about our cocaine, but our meth is top notch. A lot of farmland. T. Jefferson says, you're threatened by her growing fame. You're a current day Mark Marrow, a second stringer running a boxing gimmick who is outshined by his smoke show wife. Holy shit, that's a good one. George Coquina says, I would be honored to be called a swinger. I like the thing about the swinger rumor that always gets me is that it's supposed to be an own against me. Like Aaron's a cock, like they're swinging and all that. And I'm like, you guys got to pick a different rumor. It's got to be like April's having an affair. That's what the rumor has to be, because the swinging rumor just gets me a shitload of pussy. I don't know what you know about guys, but I don't really see the insult in, hey guys, Aaron's fucking this lady, Aaron's fucking that lady, Aaron's fucking that lady. What a queer. Then again, when it comes from guys like Patrick Melton who can't find their dick, you can understand where they wouldn't get why they sound like fucking retards. because they're so used to it, it sounds normal when they hear themselves back. That bad cocaine has fent that kills you, says Return Trip. Again, I wouldn't know anything about fent either. You could tell me, oh, this has fent in it. I wouldn't know I couldn't look at the two, taste the two. Nothing. I'm sorry. You ain't getting my money, says you got some dirt on your lip. Try washing your face. Oh, no. Hey, wait a minute. That's my facial hair that I'm growing. Elastic Woodchuck says, how does April afford the cocaine? Yeah, that's, you know what? That's probably a good question to ask, too. For their fan fiction that they come up with, they've got to figure that out. Mr. Nobody says, you still have Nick's shit on your face from eating his butthole. Is that what this is? This is Nick Rekieta poop on my face. It's weird how he left it in a... I really dig in there like a badger, don't I? Holy shit. Yeah, of course, Nick, if you're not a member, become a member. Nick did the members only show yesterday, which was great until those whores came down and just started, trying to fucking distract us. We hired women. We're not. No, we would never say that about April and Lady Rackets, of course. We would. It's more. Nick and I hired. I don't know why we did it. We hired prostitutes to sit in the studio. I don't know what the plan was, but they just started acting like hookers. I guess we should have figured it out. Cocaine or not, Aaron craps himself just the same, says Brett Mack. See, now that just seemed like you went out of your way to be hurtful. Magic 8 Ball says meth causes hair loss, right, Aaron? Hey, wait. Not Fred says the rumor is they say you're gay with Nick R. Yeah, that one actually hurts because that's like, as a homophobe, like the gay shit. Yeah, that one does. That's the one they should run with. That one would hurt me the most. Not like I'm getting top shelf pussy all the time. I don't. Sorry, Onion fans. I'm really not sure Aaron gets really good pussy all the time. I don't know if that's the own you think it is, but good for you. Ozone says, I agree. It's probably just April cheating. Wait a minute. No. That's not what I said is happening. I said that's what your rumor has to be. Wait a minute, Ozone. Paul R. Nelson says, April is a Newport lover. There's the rumor I want started. With her frame, she'd die. Roots Calhoun says, April is cheating on Aaron with Roots. Pass it on. You're a grimy, like a guy who rides the rails, homeless rapper guy. That's not okay. King Yeti says, hey there, Aaron, bingo, flappers, Imholt. That's not nice. That hurts my feeling. Malevolent Bystander says the bad part about being a swinger is all the dudes banging your old lady. Yeah, I could see that being the part where you'd be like, oh, well, his wife's getting banged up. But there's something about a guy just getting shitloads of pussy where, yeah, see, like, I think that swinger thing, I think that's like a cancellation sort of deal. Because you're fucking, they're fucking. What's the, there's no disparity there. I don't know, it's a weird thing all around. And if these people would work out their fucking rumors, then maybe we could get some answers. But alas, here they are. Helgi says the real scandal is how April has to padlock the fridge after 10 p.m. See, again, that hurtful. T. Jefferson says, hold Rekieta is bad, but the Gino ass love rumors are embraced. Poor Nick. No, wait a minute. When did I embrace Gino ass love rumors? That's gay too. Skills Carmine says, just discovered some fat guy shitting on your show. Who the fuck is he to you? Exactly. Well, that guy, I actually kind of built his show on my own and still do. It's actually a wholly owned subsidiary of Steel Toe. Mr. Q says, quit calling it swinging. It's a lifestyle, Aaron. I apologize. Diglett says, only one of you, half the goal. Well, guess what, buddy? You'll be happy to know tonight's goal is only 150. I'm doing exactly what you said I should do. I'm knocking 100 right off the top tonight for you guys. We're going to go until 9. I'm going to do an hour and a half show. If we knock out that 150, I'll give you an extra hour tomorrow. So instead of 30 minutes of overtime, we're going to give you an extra hour of overtime on another show. Plus the 30 if we knock out that day's goal. So 150 is the number tonight. Thank you, guys. If you get us under 100 by 8 o'clock, that would be super cool. But if not, hey, 150 away, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, memberships, gifted memberships. Go for it, man. We appreciate it. 150, not a very long distance to travel for this audience. So if you want to hit that right away, we really appreciate your contributions, guys. Thank you so much. Let's go into what we've got today, this bloodbath thing from Donald Trump. And thank you to Rumble, by the way, the chat over there. There are some questions in the Rumble chat right now I am not answering. I'm not. Ricada and Gino are going to turn and cheat on Aaron for each other. Well, look. Boys will be boys. All right. You naughty, otter-loving freak, says T. Jefferson. I did. You see what I mean? All right, let's get into it. The Donald Trump bloodbath thing. This is so fucking obnoxious. It just reminds me that, like, the better he does in the polls and the closer he is to getting elected again. Do we call it reelected, even though he lost and then came back? But anyway, if he gets elected president again, and the closer he gets to being elected president again, it's going to be more and more of this stupid shit where the media knows what he meant. The media knows what he's saying, but they create this big bullshit story around something he said. They blow it up bigger than it is. And then, like, celebrities jump on it and they start repeating it and they sound like dumb airheads who read other people's words for a living. Weird. And then other people, and then you hear your neighbors start to say it and you're just like, oh, fuck. Like, remember when he said that, remember when the media went, he said that all immigrants are rapists and murderers. And he didn't. What he said was, they're not sending their best. Some of them are rapists, murderers. I'm sure some of them are good people. By the way, he's not that far off when statistically, what's the number? The majority of women crossing the border illegally from Mexico to the United States is very high. Like the R-word rate is quite high for the border. So that's not an inaccurate statement. Diglett says, pay this man, great show this morning. Well, thank you, buddy. Hook and Book says, so after the 30, we will add 30, then give you an hour on another day. So here's what we got. So we got a 90-minute show tonight, but it's supposed to be 2 hours. So we already owe you the 30. Knock out tonight's goal, another 30. That's an hour. Then knock out the next goal the next day. You end up with an hour and a half of overtime on one of our shows this week. So thank you very much. Again, 150 is tonight's number. So the bloodbath quote. Let's listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet. I've read the transcript. I know it's bullshit. But, of course, everybody clutched their pearls. What was another one where it was leaked that Trump said, like, Haiti and other places are shithole countries? And everyone knows what he meant by a shithole country. I mean, it means Haiti. And the media was going, oh, the way he talks about brown people and the way he talks about minorities, they're shitholes. And it's like the amount of reaching they have to do. First of all, a sitting president saying shithole is kind of like an unprecedented thing. We don't usually hear the president say those kind of words. You don't hear the president usually say shithole. You don't even really hear the president say ass. So that would have been a story unto itself. It's like, wow, that's pretty blunt of Trump. But they tried to make it like a racist, evil, white supremacist guy thing. And it's just always that. It's always them overplaying their hand on something. So let's watch the quote from Trump and then what followed from the media coverage. Yep. Oh, it had to redirect us. Here we go.
It's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... Oh. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
It's going to be a bloodbath for the country, meaning the country's going to go to hell in a handbasket. But you know what? He can't even say that it's going to go to hell in a handbasket, because then the audience would say, Trump threatening to transport entire country to hell. I mean, it's just the pearl clutching is so remarkably obnoxious. I mean, NBC News, well, Rolling Stone is like so far left. They were reporting on it. Politico reporting on it. Joe Scarborough says Donald Trump's America, and he is proud of it. Promised another bloodbath if he loses again. Now, first of all, another bloodbath? What was the first? Let me guess. You're going to say that the first bloodbath was January 6th. Ugh. Great. I mean, I'm not saying that, like Ashley Babbitt, the only bloodbath there was on January 6th was the woman who got shot and killed, who was in the Capitol, was one of the protesters. Got killed. So when I think of a bloodbath, I think of like at least 100 casualties, 100 people dead. That's what I think of. But a bloodbath, if I lose, he clearly, it doesn't take a genius to figure out he means the country's going to shit if I don't win. Joe Scarborough was literally sucking Trump's dick until the point where he realized he wouldn't be the VP running mate in 2016. He was helping Trump prepare for the debates. Yeah, and also I think Trump said something about his wife, Mika, the co-host lady. I think he said something about her hair or her makeup or something like that. And then, Joe's got to defend him, right? I mean, he's got to get her back, so he's got to call Trump an asshole. By the way, 150 is the number for tonight. Let's all jump in and knock that out quick, and we'll throw you guys an extra hour later this week. Can be tomorrow night if you want it to be. So here's the full context of Donald Trump talking about the bloodbath thing. So the media just has Donald Trump saying, if I don't win the election, it's a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. Literally, this is what Joe Biden's people tweeted out. That was the clip, the one we just played. Biden's people tweeted this out.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
So a 9-second clip. This is what Trump said. It's going to be a bloodbath if I'm not reelected. Would you like to hear the full context of what Donald Trump said? Let's check it out and see if it's any different than what the media presented us. Now, I can't imagine that it is any different. I can't imagine that the context changes this, because our media would never take something that a guy said, shrink it down to something that sounds more offensive while completely gutting the meaning of what he was trying to say. They would never do that along ideological lines. I've always been told that our media is fair and just here to inform the people. All right, let's see what they did.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine, all he does is build car manufacturing plants. He's the big.
So there's the whole clip. That's the 1 minute and 10-second clip. Boy, all of a sudden, it doesn't sound like Donald Trump's calling for a January 6th, does it? Didn't really sound like that. It sounded more like he was saying, yeah, this fucking car thing's going to be a bloodbath if you don't elect me. I mean, the country's going to be in really shit condition. BJ says, didn't Scarborough kill an intern when he was a congresswoman in Florida? He didn't kill an intern, but I believe, was he Chandra Levy or a different girl who disappeared and was working for him at the time? I know that's the truth. King Yeti says Mika's dad is literally a spawn of Satan. Yeah. Mika Brzezinski is Zbigniew Brzezinski's daughter. Zbigniew Brzezinski was the head of the Council on Foreign Relations, which along with like the Trilateral Commission and some other places is considered like one of the groups that secretly runs the country. That's why Mika Brzezinski, with really no journalistic experience and no working her way up the ladder in any way, shape, or form, has been at the helm of the MSNBC morning show for the last decade. Because her dad said, I could firebomb your studio if you don't. Like, all right, I think she's hired. But this is what Joe Scarborough had to say about the Bloodbath comment. Now, we just watched it. And as we watched it, we saw that he was talking about the car industry. Not like a bloodbath. But, of course, Scarborough plays the 10-second clip of him just saying bloodbath. And now we get to do that fun thing we do. Americans love this. Righteous indignation, where we get to grab our pearls and go, we get to act like bitches, and it's admirable. I hate that. Like we act like complete girls. Like, oh, can you believe what he said? I can't believe it. And that's supposed to be cool.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
So let's watch Joe Scarborough cry about what Donald Trump said while his spawn of Satan wife sits there and thanks God that her dad probably had countless dictators killed just so she could be on television. Let's check it out.
Obviously, he's talking about a bloodbath for America.
Right away. Right off the bat. And by the way, do you think MSNBC has anyone on there who's going to challenge him whatsoever on that? Yeah, I didn't think so either. Do you think anybody was going to go, well, Joe, now, I mean, actually what happened was he said that the car industry was going to be in terrible shape if he wasn't there to put tariffs on at the border, and it would be a bloodbath if he wasn't elected. That was the full context of what he said, Joe. No, MSNBC, I don't believe. Spoiler alert, they will not be doing that.
It's laid out in the terms of it, and these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, President, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say that.
Whoa! Are we saying bullshit? What naughty words? Oh, my goodness. I tell you what, any more tawdry language like that over at MSNBC, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I love how Joe Scarborough gets to sit there. I'm offended by Donald Trump's language. It's bullshit. In the morning when fucking Jean Lundergaard is listening and knitting on her couch, she doesn't want to hear naughty words. It's going to be, it's going to offend her. Jean's going to be upset if you talk that way. And here's big potty mouth Joe Scarborough next to his New World Order wife, just saying naughty words like bullshit. I love do you like how he front lashes the legit criticism, though? Like, instead of actually being confronted by someone who has that criticism, he just talks in the funny voice and then, oh, yeah, all those people on the Sunday I love how he lists, like, Sunday shows, Twitter, TV, radio, internet, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, you mean everybody. Let's go through that list he went through again. That's kind of funny when you think about it. He's like, clearly, the president's calling for a bloodbath, and the pundits and the TV and the internet and the Twitter and the clergy and the board and the CEO, they're all saying, no, that's not what he meant. You mean everybody? Everybody but you who has his hair set on fire was saying that? All right, I want to watch that part again. I'm sorry.
On cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, President, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just
that, you know what? He's right, because he did a really funny voice. He does raise a good point. Do you know who does that? I do that when I'm doing a silly, retarded comedy show. I get to do the funny voice criticism thing. The people on Twitter go, Aaron gets lots of pussy. Duh. I get to do that voice because I'm an idiot. Joe Scarborough's an idiot, but he like holds a position where he's supposed to be a guy who knows some shit. And he just goes, oh, the Sunday pundits and the TV people are going, the president are talking about the auto industry. Doing it in that voice doesn't make it not what he was saying. Yes, Joe, he was talking about the auto industry. That's why they played a 1 minute, 10-second clip, and you played an 8-second clip, you dishonest douche. If they're playing a 1 minute, 10-second clip with the entire context in there, and you're playing an 8-second clip that conveniently says what you want it to say, you don't get to do the der voice. The people playing the longer clip get to do the der voice at you. The der voice is for the smart people to do with the retard. You're the retard. You don't get to der. I love that. All right, shut up.
On cable news.
I'm sorry, I've been doing hot rails with April in the bathroom.
These idiots on Sunday shows going, well, presidents, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say.
Wow. Now, does that sound like a TV news pundit, or does that sound like an angry dickhead? I guess you could argue that they're one and the same. But still, that to me sounds more like angry dickhead than it does pundit extraordinaire Joe Scarborough.
Say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just bullshit. He knew what he was doing. We're not stupid. Americans aren't stupid.
I actually disagree with both of those assertions. Joe, I think you're remarkably stupid. And I hate when people bullshit the American people and blow smoke up their ass. You can't say that the people on TV are dumb, the politicians are dumb, everyone's corrupt, everyone's a shithead, and then say that the people who put them there are smart. It doesn't work that way. Like Carlin said, where do you think these evil politicians come from? They come from American schools and American families. They're us. We're fucking dumb. So when you sit there and you go, the American people are smart. Yeah. The American people are smart to this asshole as long as they give him what he wants. If they believe that Trump said bloodbath, like the country's going to bleed if he doesn't win, then he'll say the American people are smart. But the second Trump wins something, or the second a poll comes out that says most Americans don't give a shit about this bloodbath thing, which they won't, then he'll say the American people are stupid. What's wrong with the American people? They do that all the time. They placate and they bullshit, and shame on you if you're too dumb to recognize it. Every time you do what these people want, you're smart. It's like patting a dog on the head. And then every time you go against them, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with the people? They're so stupid.
He was talking about a bloodbath. Sometimes a bloodbath means a bloodbath. And when he finishes by saying, and that's just going to be the least of it, seriously, these people may be stupid. We're not.
Wait, I thought you just said that the people are smart. Which one is it, Joe? Because most of the country wants this guy to be president again. So which one is it? Are the American people smart? Okay, so the American people are smart if they think what you think. But if they think what Donald Trump thinks, then they're stupid. Okay, that's good.
No, it is clear what he meant. And one of Trump's sort of rhetorical gifts, if you will, is he speaks just vaguely enough and just circuitously enough that people can kind of read into different meanings. He allows himself a little wiggle room and a little out every time. And we saw.
You know what's funny about this? This is the same kind of asshole who would call Donald Trump irresponsible. He's a loose cannon. I mean, this guy, he flies off the handle, he speaks off the cuff, and he doesn't think about what he says. But then when he needs Trump to be the bloodbath guy, he goes, Trump is so careful, and he leaves himself such wiggle room. And which one is it, bro? Is he just some mongoloid dipshit who can barely find a coherent sentence with two hands and a flashlight? Or is he this smart Machiavellian game-playing monster who leaves himself just enough wiggle room to trick the American people into murdering everybody? Oh, my God, you guys. Find a new boogeyman. The 76-year-old with the weird hair is not the scary guy you're thinking he is.
Saw this in the aftermath of what became a firestorm about his bloodbath comments, because rightly,
there was no firestorm. You all made it up. It's such bullshit. This is why I don't watch these shows. I'll watch the clips when I'm prepping the show, but I can't watch these shows. I'll have a fucking heart attack. These shows where these guys go, oh, Donald Trump said bloodbath. Is he advocating violence? Blah, blah, blah. So then 5 minutes later when they go to break, they go, and the media's saying there's a firestorm over the bloodbath comments. What's causing the firestorm? And you're like, but you're causing the fight. You just said firestorm and then said, oh, we should check on that firestorm that people are talking about. It's a self-repeating loop. You guys go, this is fucking crazy. And then you go, we'll talk about the crazy thing that Donald Trump said next. You're speaking your own shit into evidence.
it was the headline that came out of that rally in Ohio. It was reported all over the place. And immediately you saw, we showed the statement already. The Trump campaign within minutes put something out because they recognized.
They knew he had screwed up.
They knew he had screwed up. And they do.
Is that what it is? Or they knew you guys were going to be cunts? Which one is it? By the way, get ready for more and more of this. Now that Nikki Haley's not there anymore, they're going to do this every day. They're going to just nitpick every little thing he says and try to make some kind of like great Nazi comparison or some kind of great white supremacist connection to the shit he says. It's the only play in their playbook. They don't know anything else.
You have some professionals on their team, and they immediately realized it was a problem, and they tried to clarify it with that comment. But what happened then was there was a snowball effect on cable news, and particularly on social media. Voices in the right wing, including some very prominent voices on the right wing, really pushed back against this, claiming the media was taken out of context, that we were biased against Trump.
But, okay, are those things really that crazy? You guys did play it out of context. That's why Joe Biden put a 9-second clip up of a 1-minute, 10-segment speech. You literally did play it out of context. Don't get caught doing the shit you did and then go, oh, yeah, people are saying that we played it out of context. Pff, what a bunch of right-wing douchebags. But you did. You have time to play the whole 1-minute clip. You chose to play 8 seconds. That's deliberate. They're cherry-picking and nitpicking. They just hate Trump. What? You're going to refute that? You're going to say you don't? You're so far up his ass, your neckline is brown.
We were misconstruing what he said, et cetera, et cetera.
But you were. You were misconstruing what he said. I love that. These guys on TV can just say what they were saying and then just that's supposed to be refuting. That's wild, man. Oh, my God. What does the audience say? Look at, Bigot on Socialist Media says Bloodbath 2024. Look at how angry they are. They really are just incredibly hostile. Incredibly hostile. Do we have any more clips of... Oh, we have Keith Olbermann. Please tell me Keith Olbermann did like they're afraid kind of a thing. And then they show a bunch of clips of all of these same media people using the term bloodbath about other things. A layoff at the New York Times. So they've been using the term bloodbath too. Oh, is that fantastic? I want to see what Keith Olbermann said. I want to see if he did one of those pearl-clutching teases of his podcast that he always does. Today on the countdown, Donald Trump threatens to murder all of the Americans. He probably meant to R-word them too. We'll figure it out next on the countdown, wherever your podcasts are gotten. I just want to see, did he do a thing? No, it doesn't look like he did. Shit. I missed the Keith Olbermann videos of him losing his goddamn mind. It's one of my favorites. So that was the big news today, was Trump said bloodbath. FTW Nil says, please tell me Aaron is wearing a Hulkamania shirt too. I am. I'm wearing my red and yellow today. Of course. Guys, we have about 50 minutes left. in tonight's show. We made a really small goal tonight for you. If you want to do it, go ahead. If you want to chip in on PayPal, Super Chats, stuff like this, absolutely. Crunchy Cynicism says they're calling him senile, then saying he's leaving himself a sophisticated out on purpose. Right, that's a great point by Crunchy Cynicism, and I don't know if I'll ever say that sentence again, but they do. Like, when it's convenient, they'll say he's a big dummy who can't control his fucking mouth, and he lips off and everything else. Then, when it comes to a comment like Bloodbath, they'll go, he's so careful. He's so tricky, and he picks his words so carefully. Guys, I'm having a hard time. If I only watched like cable news to get my information, I'd be so confused right now. I'd go, what am I supposed to think about this guy? Is he a fucking dimwit like Lenny from Of Mice and Men, or is he fucking Niccolo Machiavelli? Help me. I have to make a decision, and I don't like thinking for myself. Chris Thompson says, you want scary Biden's Philly speech with the two Marines in the background with the blood red lights. I got a perfect screenshot with his fists up looking like Hitler. You know, I subscribe to Jon Stewart's thoughts on the this guy's like Hitler thing. You know who was like Hitler? Hitler. Nobody else is like Hitler. Hitler was one of a kind. Hitler was, I don't think we're going to see another one. I mean, and if we do, he's going to come out of Israel for sure. Like, they're the ones who are looking most like Nazis these days. Oh, by the way, did you see fucking based Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks going off about Israel? I have to find that clip for you. I don't know what it is, but like, as the Young Turks get older, they get more based shit about them. It's really strange. Because they're like super lefty progressive. They're not changing. That's not what I'm saying. But like sometimes they'll say something because they'll be so mad at the Democrats that they'll say shit that almost sounds Republican even though they don't mean to. Anna Kasparian went on an anti-Israel rant that almost made me cry. It was beautiful. Let's catch up with the chat first. 150 is tonight's goal. If you want to knock that out, we appreciate it. We're going to give you an extra hour tomorrow. If we do knock it out. Crunchy Cynicism says, Aaron kind of sounds like Jason Mantzoukas sometimes. Really? I consider that a compliment. I actually think he's very funny. I like everything he's in. There's a show that Andrea Savage wrote and directed. What was it? I think it was called I'm Sorry. And he was in it. And fucking hysterical. Also, the movie Dirty Grandpa. He's hilarious in that. And the Allison Brie Saturday Night Live guy, Jason Sudeikis. Sleeping with Other People. Great. He's awesome in that, too. Twitter people played 2.5 minutes of Democrats previously using the word bloodbath. Coltrane, can you find me a link to that and put it in the chat? You're a mod. Put that in the chat, and I want to play that. I want to play all these people talking shit about Trump. And here's the thing. I don't want to come off as a Trump ball washer because I'm not. I'm not a big Trump guy. You got these assholes like Scarborough made me vote for him in 2016. I'll probably vote for him again this time. But I think he's a buffoon. But you keep giving me no choice. April says, I love that shirt on you. Thanks, darling. See? She's not doing the show with me, so now she's getting all... See what that is? She's getting all affectionate over my look. All it takes is a red T-shirt. Then again, women can't say no to Hulkamania. They don't know it. But you just can't say no. The red and the yellow, it grows on them. They don't even know there's a magic in Hulk Hogan. As we saw in the sex tape. That magic is that big hog of his. Hobo Chili Recipe says, Aaron, your elbow has a butt chin. Thank you, buddy. Hobo Chili also says, April, stop lying. That shirt looks awful on him. April says, I had obligations tonight and couldn't make it. I'll be back tomorrow. Yes, I will see April after the show, and I will let her know that you all hate her. And she also wants you to knock out that 150 for tonight, too. Brett Mack says his shirt looks especially good crumpled on the floor while he's crumpling loaves. He's saying, get naked when I shit. MSO says, I've got this tonight. Wow. MSO saying that the goal is not going to get hit. Now, in the first 45 minutes of the show, not a dime has come in. So MSO might actually win. People, I think the audience has spoken. They don't want to see me solo. I bet you we don't. Usually we're at like 2 something on YouTube and 1 something on Rumble. I bet you it's half that tonight because I'm flying solo. It's not as good of a show. We've made now we did. Look, I'm not going to complain about money. We did well last week. We did well this morning. I'm not gonna fucking nitpick on dollar bills. But when I'm flying solo and it's been almost an hour and we're at Goose Egg, I've got to take responsibility for that, right? That's on me. So 150 is the number. Thank you guys very much if you feel like contributing. MSO getting very cocky. He might actually pitch a shutout tonight the way it's going because we're what? Yeah, we're at the halfway point of tonight's show. And we're it's MSO pitching a money shutout this evening. So hit those links, man. Go to that PayPal, that Venmo, and the Super Chats and all that. And at least give a fighting effort, if you will. Coltrane. Okay, good. Coltrane got me that link. Here we go. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Coltrane's a good man. So all of the people on MSNBC who thought this bloodbath thing was completely out of line and a horrible thing and it's bad for the country and Trump's just trying to be violent. Let's watch how they do better.
But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC.
Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough.
Wow. That's a lot of bloodbaths. I mean, how many people must have died because of that woman's thing that she just did on TV? On MSNBC of all places. Remember, MSNBC said this Trump guy knows what he's saying when he says bloodbath. He knows what he's talking about. Well, then this lady must be a lot smarter than Trump, right? Because she's like a news girl and Trump's a dipshit. So she's saying bloodbath a bunch. She must be trying to kill Jews or something.
He's left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean,
whoa! Is that it? That's a literal accusation of murder. Good Lord. These people are remarkably irresponsible. There's no room for euphemism and metaphor and exaggeration in the English language. They must mean literally corpses. Donald Trump has left dead bodies strewn about. Oh, these fucking people. No sense of shame. No sense of hypocriticism. I was going, okay, I have to tell you, I deserve to be shut out with no money tonight. I was going to say hypocriticism. They have no sense of their own hypocriticism. Hypocrisy. They have no idea of their own hypocrisy. You know that thing I said earlier about me just being a dipshit, so I get to do the voice, right? But Scarborough's like a journalist guy, so he's not allowed to. Yeah, I just proved it right there. Hypocrisy. What was I going to say? Hypocriticism. Hypocriticism. That's what I was going to. You know, sometimes this show really gets on a roll, and I'm fucking firing on all cylinders, and then I just step on a rake that I put there. It just derails the whole thing.
Leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean,
oh my God, she's saying Trump has murdered people. You name names.
we can count the bodies as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath. Calling this
wait a minute. Joe Scarborough and Mika. I hope if Mika, who, by the way, you can tell her dad got her this job from being the guy who's in charge of the New World Order. Not Hulk Hogan. I mean Zbigniew Brzezinski. But you can tell because nobody should be allowed to wear that on television. If she puts that on and a wardrobe person doesn't slap her in the mouth and say, you're not wearing that over here, now get back in that chair and change your clothes, because he's gay. You don't get to wear that unless your dad threatens to firebomb the studio. Nobody should be allowed to get on TV with that on. But anyway, since this is Joe Scarborough, that means that he's going to confront his wife if she says something like bloodbath, because that's a remarkably inappropriate thing to say. And we all know what she means. She's calling for another January 6th if she says that.
Bloodbath.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they...
But wait a minute. I didn't see Joe Scarborough telling her that that was naughty. That you shouldn't be saying bloodbath like that. That's wrong, I thought. Fuck.
100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently. The Republican...
Oh, my God. I haven't seen this many bloodbaths and slaughters since we expanded westward. Oh, my God, these people. Don't tell me Van Jones is going to say bloodbath, too. By the way, who's this trans guy on the left?
come up frequently. The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Wow. That guy's not. So Jake Tapper wasn't even saying, like Trump said with the auto industry, there's going to be a bloodbath in the auto industry, you know, if I don't win. Meaning if he wins, you avoid the bloodbath. That guy was saying, fuck that, bloodbath no matter what. Oh, man, I tell you, these guys are just all the violence that's being supported.
For Bernie Sanders. It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats, a bloodbath at the ballot box.
There could be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
that's right. When I used to have my period, girls, it was always a bloodbath. I used to leak like a sieve. But that was back then, girls. Since then, I hit menopause. There's no bloodbaths anymore.
It's going to be a bloodbath all day long.
Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't been a bloodbath on the way down. Donald Trump bloodbath. Be a bloodbath.
Predicted to be a bloodbath. May not be the bloodbath.
It would be a bloodbath.
More of a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath in November.
Possible Biden bloodbath.
Oh, my God. There's literally 50 more seconds of this. Of these people just egregiously using the term bloodbath. Thank you, Coltrane, for sending me that. That was fucking great. Bloodbath, 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 bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. There was a bloodbath. Holy bloodbath. Hobo chili recipe with $1.99 says, here's some change from my couch, you paunchy prick. Crunchy cynicism with $5 says hypocriticism. Another $5 from Crunchy says, I'm so sorry, but you're giving Brian laundry with that facial hair. No. Chris Thompson with $5 says, where's all the fact checkers at when NBC goes full retard? Yeah. That one's self-evident, isn't it? I feel like that we know the answer to that one. Nobody checks the checkers. I mean, look, here's my thing. If they would just come out and go, we don't like him. We think he's a piece of shit. He's mean to us. We hate his guts. And we don't want him to be president. And we're going to report negative on everything he does because we fucking hate him. Then it would be fine if they would say that shit because they're openly admitting that they're not being honest. But they sit there and act like they're the arbiters of honesty. And then they sit there and pull bullshit like this. Taste Fairy says, I'm surprised you can say retard in a super chat. Well, I mean, if you want to play that game, like to retard something means, like flame retardant means like, God, I'm dumb, like resistant, right? Fuck. Or if something is retarded, its growth is slow. So there is a literal meaning to the word. Hitler Diff says, oh, yeah, your shirt's on backwards. Hey, what? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. We're good. Whew. I was nervous. All right, let's go. We got a couple more thank yous to throw out here. Let's take a look. Coltrane with $5 says doing my part. And oh my God, Zachary says for the bloodbath and throws $50 at the program. Thank you very much. Look at that, guys. $85 away from tonight. Very cool. Thank you. We've got over a half hour left in tonight's show. Thank you, Zachary. And thank you, everyone else who threw in a couple bucks. We're only $85 away. And if we knock that out by the end of the show, we'll do an extra hour tomorrow, because a half hour for me leaving after an hour and a half show, and then a half hour for the overtime. And then, of course, if we knock out the overtime during that show, it's 90 extra minutes. And you know what? And honestly, we'll spread that between morning and evening shows. We'll do both. How's that? Angelica's doll says, Aaron, I listened to this morning show later. Did you finally try Molly? Welcome to the dark side. It's a lot better than cocaine, in my opinion. No, Keanu and I were talking about drugs, and I said in the past I have tried Molly, and I thought it was delightful. I did. I don't have any complaints. Everyone, I must have taken a low dosage, because I'm a fucking lightweight. Whether it's booze, if I have one more of these 16-ounce beers, I'll start feeling a little fuzzy. I'm a bitch when it comes to any kind of substance. But like Keanu was like, oh no, I didn't really like it. I was sweating my sleep, and I would, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I was fucking chilling. And I wasn't drinking. I was just sitting back. My eyes were as big as fucking dinner plates. I'm just sitting there. Everything was amazing. My lips and my fingertips were like, I remember when I did it, I would get a kiss. I would get a little smooch here and there, and I would go, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking wreck these pants in a minute. Holy shit. This is incredible. And I just said, I rubbed my fingers together. I go, wow, that's really something. So I don't know. Keanu and I guess had different experiences, I suppose. By the way, how great was Keanu this morning? That was incredible. When Keanu said she would do the show yesterday, when Johnny told me early in the day that he wasn't feeling well, which, by the way, Johnny will be back tomorrow. But when he couldn't do the show, I was talking to April. I was like, well, I don't want you to have to do 4 days this week, and you've got a busy day with kids and stuff. I said, who should I get? And I had asked Corey, Stevie Lou, Mersh, and Keanu accepted the offer before Mersh could even answer, but he did sound receptive to it. I would love to do a show with Mersh, especially like this Trump shit and stuff like that. But, and then April said, well, what about Kiki? And I said, well, that'd be fun, but would she like doing this show? Like, would she enjoy it? And she did. I mean, it was great, man. She was a lot of fun. And I can't believe that I ever questioned whether or not she'd have a good time, because we laughed our balls off. The only thing is, she didn't like me growing the facial hair. She didn't think it was good. And whatever pretty girls think about me, I tend to bend that way. So I've got two women. I was going to say two women in my life. That's an odd sentence. I've got two women in my life who say, oh, I like that. It looks good. April being one of them. And then I've got one woman in my life telling me, I don't like it very much. It's not really the thing I like. Or however Keanu talks. And so now I have to decide, how do those opinions weigh against one another? April told me, and I think April meant this with all due respect, that Kiki doesn't get a say. And by the way, I like saying Kiki more than Keanu because Keanu Thompson is fucking adorable. She really is the cutest thing. Chino is, I don't know if he's slipping drugs into her food to make her docile and accepting of him, or he's got a massive hog and he's an incredibly charming guy. I love Gino. He's fucking hilarious. He's definitely one of the funnest people to hang out with ever in my entire life. But still, he's 55 years old and she's 30. it shouldn't be allowed. And he pulls it off. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says Aaron cooking and sends a link. We'll check that out in a second. Thank you. Aaron, your thoughts on queso baths? T. Jefferson says the multi-spread of OT is getting very sus and makes you more shisty than a car salesman than usual. Really? Because I bend over backwards to give people all the time I feel I owe them. Like, I could do a 90-minute show tonight, not explain myself, and just fuck off. But I feel like that's rude and shitty to the people who financially support this program. So I break it down and I go, you're getting the 30 that I'm shorting you, plus you're getting the 30 for overtime. If you knock this out, you're getting an extra hour. I feel like that. I don't think that's shiesty at all. I think you got to be kind of silly to think that's shiesty. Because I feel like that's actually like remarkably honest accounting of time, if you will. Aaron has the tolerance of a teacup poodle. I really do. Why not do the OT tonight, says Optic Nerve? Because April and I's kid schedule tonight is fucking crazy. I wanted to do a show for you guys. I don't like canceling shows last minute. I like to schedule that kind of shit. So I wanted to come down here and do a show with you and hang out and keep our schedule. But we've got kid shit going on. One of us has to take care of it. So April's been doing it all fucking day. So I'm going to take care of this part. But I don't want to do like all that and overtime by myself. I want to go back. Believe it or not, guys, I really love my wife. I really like spending time with her and hanging out with her. And I would like to go back and hang out with her tonight before we have to go to bed. Believe it or not. Maybe even, make soup. That's what I'd like to do. I got a vegetable beef soup from Byerly's earlier, and I'd really like to eat it. Hobo Chili Recipe says, in the great words of Wimpy Aaron, I will gladly pay you an hour on Tuesday for a hamburger today. Suck my ass. Stevie J says, Aaron whacks it while thinking about Crunchy. Oh. No. Optic Nerve says, Kiki was great, though. Yes, she was. Chris Thompson says, I did Molly once, found true love. We took a walk on the beach. I woke up handcuffed to a mannequin behind a dumpster at Wendy's. I could take it easy, man. Hobo Chili says, that would be a great show with you and Mersh. We can call it a love triangle. But wait, there's only two of us. Oh. Stevie J says, Keanu did a great job, and she seemed to tolerate you. Is that what you think? Because I got the feeling that not only did Keanu tolerate me, I thought she found me funny and utterly charming. Thank you very much. We are friends. She probably does on some level like me as a person, believe it or not. I know the rumor is like, for example, like with the Ricadas, that Nick's wife thinks I'm a piece of shit. That's the rumor from the hot tub stream, that she fucking hates this guy. She thinks he's a piece of shit. Okay, that's fine. But Keanu, I've hung out with multiple times. I know for a fact that she likes me as a person. Thank you to Crunchy and to 383 Novocaine. We're down to $75 away from tonight's goal and about a half hour left. Thank you guys very much. 383 Novocaine with $5 says, and then Aaron woke up with a brown ring around his lips. Thank you. Evil Aaron, your true colors. Yes, the goatee always means the evil version of in 90s television. Like evil Hercules, Kevin Sorbo with a goatee. That's all it is. I liked Keanu this morning, says SH. Yeah, I thought she did great. FTW Nil says, I'm not going to lie, Kiki was great on the show. Paul R. Nelson says, I say canoe, of course. Kiki is proper. Yes, she is. I also liked Keanu and the Red Sea part in her hair, says Hobo. You just can't be nice. You just don't have the ability to be nice, do you? You son of a bitch. You can't just say a nice thing and leave it there. Stevie J says Keanu has tact and she would describe her dislikes with positive words. She would say something like, that's fantastic, my dear, but I prefer XYZ. No, she likes me. April says, I love that we always find a way to make sure you get the overtime. Yeah, like we just T. Jefferson says it just seems confusing and I am just fucking with you. Okay, because I was saying, like, I always feel guilty when we short you guys time and I always want to give it back. And I'm feeling guilty for something I don't need to feel guilty about. Christ. How dare you give me what I'm owed, says Cis Transam. And then look at April. Aaron 100% always does his best for y'all. Oh, thank you, honey. That's very nice of you. I love you too. April, send me my winnings, says Chilino. Steel Toe, my name is Castile. Hello, Johnny Castile. Good to see you, buddy. T. Jefferson, Chris says, do that shit on your own time. I'm sorry. LB letting us know that Josh Dobbs, the pastronaut, has gone to San Francisco. Well, see you later. He had a couple of good games, but oof, once they figured him out, he was disastrous, man. Fucking disastrous. Chilino, becoming a member for his 3rd month, says, when do I get my prizes? Whenever April sends them out. Whenever April sends them out. Is Melton jealous that Keanu and Gino and I are friends and April and I? Is that what it is? Big Vulgar says, Melton said it best today. First of all, if you use the phrase Melton said it best, I have bad news for you. You're not a real human. You don't go outside and you don't know that many people. Big Vulgar, I'm going to guess that you do not have a very large social circle. Because I don't think anybody with, like, I don't know, a group of people to talk to says things like Melton said it best. First of all, I mean, habitual liar. But he knows he's an habitual liar. He's gaming you. Like, he's lying and watching you eat it and bite it, and he goes, I can't believe I'm getting away with this shit. Like, he's smarter than you are. Melton said it best today. Keanu and Gino will do literally anything because they have nothing. Pat, at least Gino's apartment is in his name. You've seen their faces twice and you guys think you're lifelong friends. Think about it. I mean, we've hung out, 3 or 4 times? We talk to each other damn near daily. If not daily, every other day. But it's nice to know that Pat thinks about us so much. Big guy's so worried about our relationships that he keeps an eye and keeps tabs on them. Again, I have to ask, can you really be winning if you're the one who's sitting there counting and calculating everyone else's shit? I believe that's called jealousy. But hey, whatever you need, buddy. Basements are lonely places. FTW Nil with $5 says Kiki likes you because you distract Gino so April and her can really have fun. Look, he's not he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Gino and I have a great time, and then those girls sneak around. We find them finger popping each other, and we go, hey, wait a minute. Take that shit to the Wilmer Massage Parlor where it belongs. King Yeti says, have you heard about the Sam Hyde grooming allegations? I heard that there were Sam Hyde allegations. I didn't know it was grooming. I would love to know more about that. I hope it's not true. In fact, I don't think it's true. Sam Hyde doesn't seem like that kind of a guy. But then again, I don't know him personally. Like, I don't know. It's not like I know Sam Hyde. It's just what I've seen on TV and YouTube. T. Jefferson says Melton said it best. Solo jaw Wookie. Hoo 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 ha ha ha. You see, he's a big fat cunt. Mr. Q says they can afford an apartment in New York City. I think they have some money. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of jealousy in watching everyone else's shit. Magic 8 Ball says Melton will have Kumia on before Aaron. Really? Because if you go to our channel, you'll see that Anthony was on about a year ago. And we've also done 6 shows on his network. And I've been a guest on Anthony's show twice. And I've guest hosted his show. So, sorry. Got you there. Sorry. Big Vulgar says Melton only has 4,000 to 5,000 views on his videos. Let's see. We have 2.5 on YouTube and we have 3.5 on Rumble. Okay, so we beat him there too. So we have 700 to 800 watching live on all of our platforms. And then we have a couple thousand more views total than he does too. Holy shit, we kick the fuck out of him in every category, don't we? Thank you, Big Vulgar, for letting us know. Dude, it is so easy to fuck with these guys. It's fantastic. All right, guys, $75 away from tonight's goal. If you want to throw us a couple of bucks, go for it. There's the link in the chat. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, etc. Boy, I really shook that Big Vulgar guy. He's losing his fucking mind right now. How you doing, buddy? Just the latest to become part of the obsession, pal. All right, let's go to Politico also did this thing on Trump before we move on from him, where they're trying to convince their readers at Politico that Trump actually has the same sense of humor as Adolf Hitler. I don't know. I don't write this shit. Politico wants us to know that Trump's sense of humor is similar to that of Hitler and other dictators. That can't be true. Because if Trump likes like Hollywood movies and shit, that means he's laughing with Jews. Hitler wouldn't have done that. In fact, Hitler started a whole movie industry headed by Goebbels so he could counteract what he called the Jewish dogma of Hollywood. So they can't have the same. I do find it funny, though. Like, we're at what? March? Is it March? Now, and then November is the election. So we're about 8 months away, and they're already at Trump-Hitler connections. Oh, this is going to get good. If these polls continue to get worse, this is going to get really bad. You guys want to watch some Don Lemon and Elon Musk? This is great. So we learned this morning that Don Lemon, when he worked with Twitter, he said, before his first show, he said, what I would like is one of those cyber trucks. I would like an equity stake in the company. I would like editorial control over Twitter's news policy. And I want a $5 million signing bonus and an $8 million a year salary. So Don Lemon swung for the fences, and I imagine that Elon Musk laughed in his face and then told him to fuck off. But before he told him to fuck off, Elon Musk let Don Lemon interview him, and Don Lemon did poorly. Very poorly. He tried to get at Elon about like their news, what do you call it? Their news editorial process and what they allow and what they don't. And Don Lemon was like trying to school Elon Musk on how he should run the company. Like, the aggressively arrogant gayness oozing off of Don Lemon it's almost impressive. By the way, over on Rumble, Vidam says, I like Keanu better than Gino. Keanu is always welcomed. Excuse me. Gino is still annoying. Look, I love them both. Excuse me, one moment. I apologize. Big Vulgar. Oh, boy, I really shook this guy. He's sending money in. 499 says, don't change the subject. You got a compound trial and failed. When's the next show? I didn't get a compound trial and fail. They asked us to do 6 shows. We did 6 shows. That was it. I'm sorry that that's inconvenient for you. And then when Anthony was out with his heart problems, I co-hosted 2 or 3 times with Gino. I'm sorry, buddy. Like, I'm sorry I've done all these things that people like you said I wouldn't. And then I'm sorry you have to keep moving the goalposts. It's not my problem that you're bad at this. I'm sorry, but handle it and cope with it in another way. $70 away from today's goal as we continue to rattle the fuck out of this Big Vulgar guy. Guys, in the next 15 minutes, knock out the rest of that $70 goal and really drive that guy into a tailspin. PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, memberships. I love just picking onions every single day. I'm just picking them. They're great. They keep lying. I keep exposing the lie, and they rage about it. beat him in views, beat him in live viewers. And that's really pathetic because we're beating him in views and live viewers, and his whole show is based on I'm an asshole. So that's crazy that you do 4 hours a day of Aaron's an asshole, but you can't catch up with Aaron. Keep paddling, little fish. So Don Lemon was interviewing Elon Musk. And for a guy who wanted $13 million in a Cybertruck out of this guy, he sure wasn't being a very nice interviewer. Let's check this out.
We delete things if they are illegal.
But these have been up there for a while.
Are they illegal?
They're not illegal, but they're hateful, and they can lead to violence.
Okay, I fucking hate that. Anything can lead to violence if you're dealing with unreasonable people. Saying that you think chocolate chip cookies are better than oatmeal raisin can lead to violence if you're arguing with a fucking lunatic. It's not the words or the thing that was said. It's the person hearing it. And if we're going to start censoring everything we say because lunatics hear it, then we have no freedom of speech. Then we have no ability to communicate, and we have no ability to share information. That's what I hate about all this, the misinformation stuff that they want to delete off of social media. Since when has it ever been against the First Amendment to be wrong? You're allowed to say shit that's not true. You're allowed to go, I think secret aliens are running the country. That may not be true. It actually may be true. I don't know. But it may not be true. You're allowed to say it. So this obsession we have, it's just that Overton window shifting over where passively people slowly accept the idea, oh, well, if something's not true, it could be dangerous. We can delete it. You understand that's just slowly them taking you down the primrose path of not allowing you to say anything. You have to shut that shit down early. So when Don Lemon says, hey, you should take this shit down, Elon Musk goes, is it illegal? Our policy is if it's illegal, we take it down. There. He's told you the fucking policy. Now move on. So he goes, yeah, but this has been up for a while. Is it illegal? No. Then shut up. He told you either accept what the policy is or shut up and go somewhere else and bitch about it. But you asked him a question. He was like William H. Macy and Fargo. Ma'am, I answered your question.
As I just read to you, the shooters, in all of these mass shootings, attributed social media to radicalizing them.
Right! Because they're mental patients. So I agree with you, Don. We should take these mentally ill fucks and lock them in a room where they can't hurt anybody. But Don Lemon would argue, oh, that takes away their freedom and their agency. Well, then we can't win. Either all the mental wackaloons get to go free and we have to live under the constant threat of them murdering people every day, or we lock them up in a room and we don't have to worry about it and everybody can say whatever they want. But Don Lemon sits here and goes, hey, all these fucking mental patients that shot shit up? They said being on social media wasn't good for their brains. Wow. No shit, Don. God, I hate people like this. They actually want to limit free speech because a lunatic forgot his pills one day and shot a bunch of kids.
Don, you love censorship, is what you're saying.
Yes.
No, I don't love censorship.
Yes, you do. They're saying words, and then there's the meaning of the words. You can't say, I don't love censorship, and then say, oh, if this could lead a guy to do something bad, then it should never be allowed to be published. That's censorship. You're censoring yourself because of what someone might do. That's bullshit.
Then why are you asking?
I believe in moderation, but I don't believe in
censorship.
Censorship is a form of moderation. That's what censorship is, you big gay dummy.
Moderation is a propaganda word for censorship.
Yes.
But don't you think free speech is one thing, right? Or not,
No, free speech is not one thing. Free speech is the thing, and it's abso-fucking-lute. And I can't afford to compromise on that. Maybe if people like you were honest, maybe if people like you were square dealing, then yes, we could have a conversation about it. But we can't, because your only answer to censorship is more. There's not an amount of speech that I can give up that will make you happy. You will always want to take more. So I have to sit here and go, every horrible fucking thing that anybody ever wants to say should be allowed. Absolutely. Damn the torpedoes. Come what may, it should all be allowed. And you could say, Aaron, isn't that a radical stance? Yes. But you won't leave me the fuck alone. So I have to be radical. If you would leave me alone, I could be at peace.
Look, if something's illegal, we're going to take it down. If it's not illegal, then we're putting our thumb on the scale and we're being censors.
You're putting your thumb on the scale for moderating hate speech? I mean, you don't...
Yes! Yes! As Patrice O'Neill once said, what's wrong with hate speech? Why can't someone hate somebody? You're allowed to hate people. It's not nice. It's fucking baggage. I agree. But you're allowed to hate people. You're allowed to hate them for their gender. You're allowed to hate them for the color of their skin. You're allowed to hate them because they suck a lot of dicks. So Don Lemon apparently checks 2 out of those 3 boxes. You're allowed to hate someone because they're white. You're allowed to hate someone because they're a dude. You're allowed to hate someone for whatever reason you want to. How is that difficult for these people to understand? That's what the fight is over. Those are the 2 groups in the fight. The people who understand that just because something's bad doesn't mean it should be verboten. Just because is hate speech bad? Yes, hate is bad. Hate is baggage. Hate is awful. People should be allowed to do it. How is it that hard for people to grasp?
Don't put out child pornography. That's not...
It's illegal.
Child porn is illegal, you dumb gay fucker. And by dumb gay fucker, I mean he literally fucks gay people, which is fine, which is wonderful. It's great. God bless Don Lemon and his sexuality. But his take on free speech is horse shit.
Some people would say that's considered censorship. I'm just saying.
No, it's not. It's taking down illegal content, you stupid dingleberry. Some people would say taking down child porn is censorship. Yes, some people would say that. Retarded some people.
No, I literally, Don, you know, I literally said, if something is legal, okay, we will obviously remove it.
Okay.
But if it is not legal, the laws in this country are put forward by the citizens. We're a democracy.
Haha, that's funny. You know, that's a good one. This Elon guy's funny. Oh, the country's run by the people. Is that what BlackRock is called? Is that a people? It's interesting. Raytheon, is that a people? Goldman Sachs, is that a people? I guess those are people. People make up those companies.
If those laws...
But they're not really citizens, are they? Well, I suppose. They usually have dual citizenship. They usually have... The people who are in... The citizens who are in charge usually have a couple censorships. See, I only have one citizenship. It's to the United States. These citizens that he's talking about that make all the rules, they've usually got citizenship to another country also, along with this one. What's that? What's the country? I don't remember. It's out that way somewhere.
Put in place by the people, we adhere to those laws.
Okay, I agree.
To the laws of others. If you go beyond the law, you're actually going beyond the will of the people.
Okay, agreed with the law. But if you are doing something that promotes hate and violence...
He already answered the fucking question, you black guy! Sorry, did I just yell, you black guy? That's inappropriate. Some would say I might be losing my fucking mind this evening. What do we have, 10 minutes left? Knock out the last $70 before I have a fucking coronary. God, I hate Don Lemon. It's like every bad girlfriend you've ever had. Do you want to go to my mother's thing this weekend? No, I don't. You sure? Because it's a really good thing. No, I don't want to go. So you're saying you don't want to go. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. It is. It's Jerry Lundergaard. Ma'am, I answered your question. Elon Musk is one more question away from going, all right, I'll do a lot count.
And ultimately leads to killing. You don't feel you have any responsibility not to do that?
You don't know that letting someone say something is going to lead to somebody else killing somebody. It's the oatmeal raisin chocolate chip debate I was telling you about. Someone saying I like chocolate chip better than oatmeal raisin, you cunt Nazi, is something that someone might get punched in the face over. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be allowed to like chocolate chip cookies and state it as a public opinion. The fact that someone else might do something because you said something does not mean you shouldn't be allowed to say something. That person shouldn't be allowed to hurt people over it. I just hit myself in the ear with my pen. Sometimes people think that these solo shows are very funny. I like that you like them. Oh, April just sent me a message. You're very funny. Uh-oh. I think somebody's trying to get frisky. Frisky. What am I, 97 years old? Jesus Christ. All right, continue.
When the people who are doing it admittedly are saying
there's articles all the time that lead to violence and killing. Don't they? Shouldn't they? Like you're applying a differential standard to.
But that would never be in mainstream media. These types of images. That type
What? Hold the phone. That shit would never be in mainstream media? Has the FBI and have psychologists not said that showing the face and reading the manifesto of mass shooters leads to copycat killers? They say that, right? Printing their name, showing their photo, talking about the manifesto. That creates copycats. The media does it every fucking, well, they don't do it every fucking time. If the shooter's not white, they don't really bother. But every time a white guy shoots something up, and I guess Latinos now too, they kind of consider them white because a lot of them are voting Republican. But they put the name out there, they put the picture up there, and they talk about the manifesto. So don't tell me that the mainstream media doesn't put out shit that leads to violence. But by the way, Don, I'm not telling them they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I don't think they should do it, but they should be allowed to.
Language, those things would never be. We'd never. When I was in mainstream media, we'd never.
Haha, because you're not anymore. You and me both, brother, right? Yeah. You talk shit about the girlies too and got yourself canned. Huh? What up, homeboy?
Promote things that would be anti-Semitic. We would never promote things that would.
Anti-Semitic either.
Did you not see those?
Nazi. The anti-Semitic stuff. Did you not see? This Don guy.
To promote. If content is on the platform, that doesn't mean we promote it.
Right.
That wouldn't be on a platform for mainstream media at all.
Cool.
No, but you can think of that's because the mainstream media has like whatever 20 articles a day. We have 500 million posts today.
Okay,
500
understood.
million.
Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother him. He answered the question. God, Don Lemon is a cunt. He really is. Yes, White Man Manifesto is out the next day. It always is. It always is. They always have that manifesto out front and center. Drew with 199 says, I'm helping. Thank you very much, buddy. All right, what do we have? We got 4 minutes left. All right, let's see if you guys want to rally up a little bit here. Knock out that last $70. And what we'll do after that is we'll throw you guys an extra hour of overtime this week. We'll throw it your way. I'm guessing only fat people get into fights over cookie disagreements, says Bigot on socialist media. Right. MSO says, I can do this. All right. MSO, $70 away. No, I'm sorry. We're $70 away from today's goal. MSO is going to get a victory if we don't knock out that $70. So 3 minutes left. We're officially at the 3-minute mark. For the 3 minutes and 15 seconds. George says, oh, wait, what? An IOU? Yes, I have. April is with the children. I have to go be with her. I could only do a 90-minute show tonight, but I want to give you that 30 minutes back. And then if we knock out the goal, I want to give you the other 30 minutes back. I'm sorry for trying to give you the time back. I'm sorry for being a good guy. $70 away, guys. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. Let's knock that out. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. If you're feeling generous tonight, it will not take much because, as I said, we're only $70 away. Dash with $2. Thank you, buddy. 70 away. That's a pretty easy one. You guys band together and we can do it. Or as Will Sasso says, or don't. Optic Nerve says, kids first. I admire that, Aaron. Well, yeah, unlike the Dabbleverse people, like I don't live on the internet and like think about how much drama I can create on a daily basis. I got fucking people to hang out with. I got a goddamn life. I don't even have a cat. I'm a hyper-social motherfucker. $70 away. 2 minutes left to go until we find out whether or not that 70 is getting knocked out. If we miss by 70, though, that's one that I usually just after the show, I cover it. There you go. Just throw it back in there. Boom. Minute and a half left. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. Red Fox Mad says, let's go MSO. No, we don't want MSO. We want to win. We've got to be the winners. Red Fox Mad says, you got it, MSO. No, we don't want Red Fox Mad. Whose side are you on? Stuttering John's Fingernail says, Aaron, Romero, Cruz. Who do you got? Cruz. I like Cruz. He's gutty. I do. He's a tough go, and he's always that guy who's like the opponent who's really tough but can't squeak out the win. I think he's going to get it this time. I like him. 1 minute to go. Here we are. 1 minute left and $70 away. 70 is fucking close, boys and girls. Let's jump in and do this thing. 40 seconds to go. Thank you very much, by the way, for knocking out over half the goal on a 90-minute show where I was solo. That is a great showing, and I appreciate it. But we can still win this thing. We got very close. Hobo Chili with $1.99 says, let's go MSO, the real winner. Well, 30 seconds. Let's see if we can do it. Streamlabs, there's the links. One more time, put the links in there. There we go. 70 away. That's so close. 20 seconds left. Are we going to get it? It doesn't look like it, but somebody can jump in. Multiples of you. Hobo Chili with $1.99 says, let's go MSO, the real winner. Oh, man. 8 seconds left. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you to Scarface. $4.99 says, Aaron, your financing for your white Ford Econoline has been approved, but I don't have an Econo. I'm not looking for an Econoline. Why would you say something like that in front of all these people? That's clearly not true. All right, guys, we ended up 65 away for tonight, which, again, no problem. MSO gets a $65 win. I only did a 90-minute show. I cheated the audience out of their time, for Christ's sake. And but now we only owe you, what, a half hour? Oh, Matthew with $20. Thank you, pal. I missed that one. Thank you, Matthew. So $45 away from tonight's goal. Okay, so what does that mean? You know what? I have to write that down because that's inside of 50. And if it's inside of 50, then I technically owe. They get the hour, and they have the hour to knock out that last 45. So I got to write that down. Yeah, Drew says that's on credit. Well, shit. Or if one of you wants to jump in there and knock out that last 45 before we come back on the air tomorrow, shit, that's fine too. Thank you, Matthew, for getting it inside of $50. That's very cool. All right, talk to you later. I've got to get out of here. I've got to go be with my family, which is nice. And you guys have a great rest of your evening. We'll be back at 6 a.m. Central for the morning show. Johnny will be back tomorrow morning. Take it easy, guys.